One of the creepiest moments in The Conjuring comes right at the beginning. Two nurses recount their experiences with Annabelle, how she moved on her own, left eerie notes, and even bled from her eyes. But did this really happen? The real story does start with two nurses, Donna and Angie, who lived in an apartment together in 1970. Donna's mother gifted her a Raggedy Ann doll, but soon the roommates noticed something was wrong. Unlike in the movies, there were no dramatic possessions, just subtle, creeping signs that something sinister was at work. One day, as Donna sat on the couch, flipping through her nursing textbook, she felt she couldn't concentrate. The feeling had been there for days now, that creeping sensation that she wasn't alone, even when the apartment was empty. She glanced across the room at Annabelle, perched neatly on the chair in the corner. The doll hadn't been there this morning. Donna was sure she had left it on her bed, but this was nothing new. Annabelle moved on her own. At first, it was subtle, an arm raised, a leg bent differently, the slightest shift in position. But lately, it had been more deliberate, more unsettling. And then, there were the notes, small, crumpled pieces of parchment paper appearing out of nowhere. Help us. Help Lou. The handwriting looked like a child's, but neither Donna nor her roommate, Angie, owned parchment paper. Tonight, though, something felt different. The air in the apartment was heavier, pressing down on Donna's chest. She couldn't shake the sense that something was watching her. Her eyes flickered back to the doll and her stomach lurched. There was something on Annabelle's hands. Donna stood slowly, her breath shallow. A dark, sticky substance stained the doll's tiny fabric fingers. Her heart pounded as she stepped closer. It was red, deep crimson. It smeared across Annabelle's chest in faint streaks, as though she had been cradling something bleeding. Donna recoiled. This wasn't a prank. This wasn't a trick of the mind. This was real. Panic clawed at her throat. She fumbled for the phone and dialed the number of the only person she could think of, a psychic medium she had met through a friend. Within an hour, the woman arrived. She was older, draped in a shawl, her expression serious but unreadable as she stepped into the apartment. The air was thick with tension, but the moment her eyes fell on Annabelle, she went rigid. The medium sat in silence for a long moment, her fingers hovering just inches from the doll. Then she sighed, a deep, mournful sound. "Her name is Annabelle Higgins," the woman murmured. "She was a little girl who died here a long time ago. She's lonely. She just wants to be loved." Donna's fear softened into something else. Pity. If Annabelle was just a lost child's spirit, then maybe keeping the doll wasn't a bad thing. Maybe all the movement, the notes, even the strange red stains were just desperate attempts to communicate. But what Donna didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was that the medium was wrong. There was no little girl. Something else was inside that doll. Something far, far worse. The Warrens later declared that Annabelle wasn't haunted, but possessed by a demonic entity. Could an inanimate object really have this kind of power, or was something else manipulating people's fears? The elevator scene is of the most intense moments in Annabelle. The protagonist finds herself trapped in a basement with Annabelle, desperately pressing the elevator button, but the doors refuse to close. The tension builds, the lights flicker, and then something lunges at her from the darkness. But did anything like this happen in real life? Not exactly. While there are no reports of Annabelle chasing people, there are stories of her influencing surroundings in eerie ways. The most famous one involves a man who visited the Warren Occult Museum with his girlfriend. This isn't a ghost story passed down through generations. It was a real incident, witnessed firsthand by Lorraine Warren herself. During a tour of the museum, the man scoffed at the idea that a doll could be cursed. Ignoring Lorraine's strict warnings, he knocked on the glass case and taunted Annabelle, daring her to do something. Lorraine immediately stepped in, urging him to show respect, but he simply laughed. According to Lorraine, as the man and his girlfriend left the museum on a motorcycle, he lost control and crashed into a tree. He died on impact. His girlfriend survived, but spent months recovering in the hospital. She later claimed that just before the accident, they had been joking about Annabelle, and suddenly, he lost control of the bike. The idea that Annabelle could cause electrical disturbances or manipulate surroundings isn't unique to her. Many cases of haunted objects involve strange power fluctuations, mysterious sounds, or unexplained movements. But is it the spirit within the object, or just our minds playing tricks on us? Hollywood loves to exaggerate, and Annabelle is full of chilling visuals, like this moment, where a young girl unknowingly invites an evil force into her home. But did Annabelle ever cause an actual possession? The Warrens believe that Annabelle was not haunted by a ghost, but by a demonic force. They claimed it was trying to possess Donna, the owner of the doll, by gaining her trust. Annabelle isn't just a Hollywood horror story. She's a legend in the world of the paranormal. Many investigators have tried to debunk her story, while others claim the evidence is undeniable. Ed and Lorraine Warren kept her locked away, believing she was one of the most dangerous objects in their collection. But skeptics argue that there is no scientific proof that a doll can be haunted, let alone possessed. The real Annabelle is a simple Raggedy Ann doll with button eyes and a stitched smile. The movie Annabelle, however, is a porcelain doll with cracked features, hollow eyes, and a sinister grin. Why the drastic change? Because, let's be honest, a Raggedy Ann doll just doesn't look as terrifying on screen. In the movies, Annabelle levitates, slams doors, and even attacks people directly. In real life, reports suggest she moves subtly, writes notes, and influences events in eerie ways. The fear isn't in what she does, but in what she represents. A cursed object, a vessel for something dark, something inhuman. Whether you believe the story or not, one thing remains certain. Those who have disrespected Annabelle have suffered strange and tragic fates. So, was Annabelle's Hollywood horror over the top? Absolutely. But was the real Annabelle harmless? The stories suggest otherwise. Perhaps the most chilling thing about Annabelle is that she's still locked away today, sitting in her glass case, watching, waiting,